So for my final presentation, I wanted to discuss the 1994 photo sparrow from the Iris Print series by Barbara Cole. This is one of 18 out of the series that holds very similar attributes and characteristics. I chose this specifically because I'm an artist and I'm immediately drawn to anything that resembles a painting or a drawing. And although I mainly stick to drawing and painting, I've recently gotten to work with photography in my advanced digital photography class, and I found at the end of the day that I kept developing photos that had painting-like qualities and attributes, and so it kind of like stuck with me, and I was like, okay. So then after I discovered Cole, I found her to be a huge inspiration in my photography work, and I just kept noticing myself leading back to her, and all of my work kept holding really similar characteristics to her work. So, like, basically, what I enjoy most about her photo is how deceiving it can be and how it has the ability to trick the viewer's eyes. Viewers can't figure out if it's a realistic painting or a photo that resembles a painting, which captivates me that much more. And it's just kind of funny because she has that power to kind of like, wait a minute, what's happening here? So moving forth to how it integrates into what we've learned so far, I thought it integrated well in the sense that the line in photography is constantly blurred. That's the one thing that really stuck with me throughout this whole semester is that photography can be both for documenting or scientific purposes and also for artistic and abstract purposes. And I thought this piece fit really well because it blurs the line between photography and painting, making it really visually appealing. And when I first saw it, it immediately reminded me of the pictorialist movement and how photos were made to look like paintings. This movement prompted the idea that photography should emulate painting and encourage the use of soft focus, special filters, lens coding, heavy manipulation of the photo, and which is basically happening here. It's a very soft focus photo, and you can obviously see the artist's hand, and there's a heavy implication of manipulation throughout the process, whether it be taking the photo or editing the photo. But it also kind of made me think of John Sterkowski, excuse me if I'm not saying that right, and how he argued that photos should not look like a painting at all. So I thought it was kind of funny to see the two extremes with this photo and how it kind of like lays in the middle. Because, John thought that photography needed to be stray away from the pictorialist standard and inherent qualities with photography. He didn't think that photography and painting should cross over at all. He thought painting was a whole different world and that photography should specifically stick to photography attributes, with the geometric shapes and the quality of line and all the formal aspects. And it makes me think of that photo of the broom with the wood panels behind it. God, I'm forgetting the name of it. So I just basically thought it was really interesting to see how this photo plays into the history. But moving on to how it was made, just some background. Barbara Cole loves to experiment with warm colors and that palette, as well as the quality of light and simplicity of line. And in her artist bio, she specifically said that she was heavily influenced by Lucidy and Froude's paintings and all the formal aspects that came with it. And she also stated that she loves this idea of crossing the line between painting and photography. And, she really amplifies that and enhances that, and you can tell. And for this specific series, she used an SX70 camera. I had to look that up because I've never heard of that before, but it's so unique and I love it. And then going on to how she made this specific series, she said that she manipulated the surface image to add dimension and introduce this painterly-like quality. And basically moving on to the actual photo itself and all the formal aspects and the look of it, there's no straight lines in it at all. Everything is curved and wavy in some way, in some manner, which makes it soothing and relaxing and contributes to conveying this type of mood. At least the mood that I was getting from it was very mystical and magical, and just because, all of this like softness and this like emulating light off, um, And I also found when just looking at the photo itself, just studying it, that the lines from the window and the floor and the wall behind all lead the viewer's eyes to the main subject of the picture, which is the girl in the chair. Specifically talking about the girl in the chair, she looks so carefree. She's just so like effortlessly like looking off into the distance. But I could see that she could be portrayed as vulnerable because she doesn't have her shirt on and how her arms are like wrapped around her, that's kind of closed off, and she like can be seen in that. But she's sitting in such a unique way that you wouldn't normally sit. Like nobody just sits on a chair like that. So it makes it seem like she was posed and that the photographer had a say in where she wanted her to be and how she wanted her to look. And so basically, overall, I just loved the uniqueness of this photo and how it represented an interesting blurred line in photography. And I'm really, really happy I found her, and I cannot wait to continue photography and constantly just referring back to her and looking at her new work and everything. Thank you.